Hi, I'm Hector. From Murrieta, California, you're listening to Norcore TV, bringing you podcast number 3, Love Yourself. Hope you enjoy. In today's topic, we're going to be talking about loving yourself. One thing everybody always neglects to do. You gotta love yourself. Life's too short, and honestly, you just don't have time to regret. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and cover over some universal truths, 3 universal truths that all human beings have in common. The only way you wouldn't have these universal truths is if you were perfect. Which brings me to my first universal truth: nobody is perfect. You are perfectly imperfect. Alright, so growing up, I always struggled with having confidence. I was always quiet, shy, just basically down and into myself. Not into myself as in I was into myself, just into myself as in I would not be out there with other people. I was always told I was too short. Growing up, roughly about 18, 19 years old, I was told I looked too young, which now that I'm 22 years old and I'm starting to see what time is doing to most of you guys, thank you. That's a compliment. I'm no longer insulted by looking too young. But I was always self-conscious about something, right? My imperfections, I'm too short, I'm too this, I'm too that. Today, I don't struggle with that no more. I'm perfectly imperfect. So, I met an individual once that was really, really good looking. Absolutely stunning in my eyes. And one day I decided to ask this individual, because they carry themselves with such confidence. They're really confident people. So I asked them one day, I said, what are you self-conscious about? Are you self-conscious about anything? And they replied with, well, yes, of course I am. And I asked, well, what is it? Me not being able to see anything imperfect with this individual. And they replied with, well, my lisp. And mind you, they did have a lisp, but to me, that lisp was cute. I didn't think that lisp was an issue. I didn't see any issues with that lisp. Next, well, what else besides your lisp? I told this individual, I said, I think your lisp is cute. I don't see that as a imperfection. So what else? Well, they mentioned how they had a gap between their front teeth, and mind you, it wasn't the most appealing thing about this person. I didn't mind it. I didn't see it as an imperfection. But this person did see it as an imperfection. So understand that you're perfectly imperfect. Understand that you're not going to be the most attractive person to everybody. You're not going to be the smartest. You're not going to be the quickest. You're not going to be the fastest. That's not to say you shouldn't work on yourself. That's not to say that you shouldn't work on things you can fix. A lot of these imperfections we can fix. I'm talking about the imperfections we can't fix. Being too short, you can't fix that. Being too dumb, you can't fix that. You could gain knowledge, but you can't increase your IQ score. You got what you got. That's genetics. Looking too young, time, you can't stop time. Time is gonna press forward and it's not gonna wait for you. It ain't gonna wait for you. So you have to understand that you're imperfect. That's what makes you human. That's one of the universal truths. Second universal truth I want to talk about is that we all struggle. We all face adversity. I love talking about adversity, and I love adversity because with adversity comes growth. So that's one thing you have to understand is you're struggling right now. You're struggling to put food in your mouth. You're struggling to pay your bills. But just know that whenever you do overcome those hardships, you're going to grow. You're going to find a way. Life finds a way. You might not have enough money right now, but you're going to go ahead and get that college degree so that you can get a promotion, so that you can make more money. You're going to educate yourself. You're going to invest in yourself so that you know how to make more money. You're going to go ahead and make that money and learn how to do your makeup, right? You're going to improve. You're going to improve. And lastly, I want to talk about the last universal truth that we all have, and that is we will all die. Eventually, we will all come to an end. As everybody likes to say, especially those people in theater, all good things must come to an end eventually. So understand that. Those are the 3 universal truths we have. And that's going to tie into why and how we should love ourselves. So moving forward with these universal truths, what do we do next? What's next? Well, the next step is acceptance. So with the first universal truth of us being perfectly imperfect, in my eyes and in my opinion, being imperfect is a blessing. If you see it as a blessing, you're gonna accept your imperfection. All right. Think about a dog who, everybody loved this dog. He's always running around, being playful, being funny. And one day he runs out into the street and gets hit by a car. Take him to a doctor because he's critical. They have to amputate his leg. Right now he has 3 legs. Now he's a tri-legged dog. All right. So at first he's gonna struggle to walk. At first he's gonna struggle with his imperfection, but eventually he's gonna learn how to run again. Eventually he's gonna learn how to be up and running, and you're gonna come to realize that this dog, he's gonna be running as if it never even happened. He's gonna be indifferent about his leg. He's gonna forget about his leg. So you have to understand how to leverage your imperfection. You have to use them. You have to let your imperfection serve you. Don't serve your imperfection. If you serve your imperfection, it's just going to be a weight on you, always holding you back, never letting you progress forward. Some of the ugliest people are some of the funniest people I've ever met. Some of the ugliest people I've ever met have the biggest hearts. Especially some of the dumbest people. Some of the dumbest people are some of the most humble, down-to-earth people I have ever met in my life. That's their imperfection, and they learned how to leverage that imperfection to serve everybody else, to serve them. So that brings me to the next acceptance, and that's accepting your hardship. You have to accept your adversity. You have to accept it. Don't run from it. Don't try to run from it and escape it through alcohol, through drugs. Don't run from it. Accept it and work on it. Eventually, it's going to bring you growth. Eventually, it's going to bring you value. Don't run from your suffering. Don't run from it. Lastly, we have to accept death. Why should we accept death? Death brings us nothing but sorrow. Death brings us nothing but sadness. Death brings us nothing but despair. What's so good about death? Well, dying adds value to life. When we're on a timeline, we have value. When things come to an end, it has value. If we lived forever, we wouldn't cherish life the way we do today. If we lived forever, we wouldn't love the same. If we lived forever, what would be the point of even living? Would we even call it living? Dying adds value to life, and we have to accept it. So by accepting these 3 universal truths, we eventually learn how to love ourselves more and more and more. You gotta love yourself. You gotta accept what you got. You can't neglect it. You're beautiful in your own way. You're ugly in your own way. You're strong in your own way. You're weak in your own way. You're smart in your own way. You're dumb in your own way. You got what you got. You're imperfect, and that's perfectly all right. You gotta face your adversities. You gotta accept the challenge. You gotta step up to the challenge. You can't just simply wither away, hide in drugs, hide in alcohol. As we pointed out earlier, you gotta go ahead and face on. Love yourself by granting you the opportunity, the chance to grow and be a better person the next day once you've overcome this fear, this challenge. And lastly, you gotta cherish your time. You gotta value your life. Don't let your life go to waste with alcohol. Don't let your life go to waste by watching TV all day. Don't let your life go to waste by doing the same thing over and over and over again. Don't let your life go to waste by not giving your mom or your dad or your sister or your brother a phone call just to see how they're doing. You gotta give your time value. And just like that, that's how you love yourself. So that concludes podcast number 3, Love Yourself. You're listening to Norcore TV. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comments section. If you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. I'm all about constructive criticism. Thank you so much for listening. Till next time, have a good one.